All right, I'm Robert Booley Williams. I cover the Jack Yates historian part of the school. I am the alumni part of the Alumni Association. Okay, and I got Mr. Butler. And Mr. Butler is over the whole school as far as the academics concerned, the sports department. He is, you come on up, Mr. Butler, so we can let everybody know. Because what we're trying to do here, we're trying to bend the Jack Yates together. We knew when 1958, when Mr. Holland left, he could not go to the new school over there at Jack Yates 3703 Sampson. I noticed myself, we had a breakdown in our communication because a lot of people didn't want to deal with the new Jack Yates and Dr. Caldwell. They wanted Mr. Holland to come over there, but they didn't happen. So we had really, a lot of people were saying, I didn't finish from that school. I finished from the original school. So we want to mend that together, yeah. And now we almost coming to the point that we got other people now that's saying that I didn't go to 3703 Sampson. That's the new Jack Yates over there in Alabama. So we can forget all of that. The bottom line is part of Jack Yates High School. Amen. That's the bottom line. And we got to get away from this class thing and think about the school. You know, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us, the scholarship is concerned, but it's other things that the school need. HISD is not giving us everything that we used to have when we was a 5A school, when you guys went and I went. So that's why I'm bringing in Mr. Butler. He not only oversees the athletic department, he oversees the academic. He is a main factor of Jack Yates, including the kids. He oversees all that, and we want him to come in and tell you guys what's really going on over there at Jack Yates 3650 Alabama. That's the address. And Mr. Butler, you can come on in here and explain to them, and you can ask him all the questions you want to ask him, because we want to make sure that you guys get a chance to tour. I went with you guys on a bunch of tours that y'all had. Now it's time to tour your own school and see what they got to offer. I'm gonna leave the floor to Mr. Butler, and you ask him all the questions you need to ask him about that school, because this is part of your school too.
Okay, first of all, Mr. Butler, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, how you doing?
All right, I need to know, what is your first name?
My first name is William.
William? Okay,
Yes,
thank you, sir. We are all senior citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
You refer to Mr. Butler, I would say Mr. Butler, but I would like to know your first name. All right, thank you.
My name is William Butler. I've worked at Yates for about 19 years.
19?
Yes, ma'am. I started in 2003 in the George office. Okay. I'm not the principal. I'm one of the assistants. Principal Guillory is my head principal. Like Mr. Williams said, I'm in charge of athletics, the building, stuff like that. So one of the reasons I wanted to come and talk to all y'all, if y'all need something from us, you want to do something at the school, all you gotta do is ask me and we can make that happen. That's not a problem at all. If you haven't been to the new building, I can make sure that you have to come have a tour of the new building. It's huge, it's large, but we can make that happen so you can come and see the kids. It's not a problem, okay? For us things that we need, like Mr. Williams said, HISD does not give us everything, especially when it comes to extracurricular activities, okay? So like our band, we got a new band director, and he's doing good things. He's been invited to come to go to Dallas for the Battle of the Bands. We're trying to raise money right now to pay for the buses and the hotel. I'm gonna get the money for the buses, but it's gonna be real hard for them to wake up at 4 in the morning and try to get there by 8 o'clock and perform and then come back home. So we're trying to get money for hotels so they can stay Friday night and then, get ready for the Battle of the Bands.
How many band members are there?
Right now he's doubled it. When he took over, it was only 10 people. Now he had a lot of band directors, but he's been working. He's young, but he's been working, and he got us up to like about 40 right now. Plus, they got over 30 line-ins, like dancers and twirlers. So he's working. Our goal is to get back to 100, but it's gonna take him at least 2 or 3 years, because the middle schools, they don't really have band programs. So he's actually, when I went to his class this morning, he has the music sheet out and he's teaching them how to read music. We haven't had a band director do that in at least 5 years. So he's actually teaching them how to read music and march at the same time. So it's gonna take him about 3 years to get the band back to about 100 members. That's what he wants, that's what I want. Okay, we got a new football coach. He's instilling discipline. He's working. He come out of East Texas, so you got to give him a couple years, but he's gonna get it right. Academically, our main struggle, our problem was getting kids to come to school. Okay. When I say like, you think, well, they gonna be easy. The pandemic hurt the kids a lot. I don't think people realize how much the pandemic hurt these kids. Having them stay home and not have to come to school, it's been hard getting all those kids back, especially the incoming kids. They were out in middle school. They were out for over a whole year, just sitting at home doing nothing. And everybody parent was not at home with them, saying, "Hey, log on, do your assignment, do your work." They were just sitting up playing video games. They weren't doing no work.
No.
So last year was a struggle, but we're getting them on the right track right now. If you go to the school, when I hope y'all come to the school, I can walk around and show you the classroom where the teachers are actually in the classroom teaching. I know y'all had teachers that made sure you learn. Well, we had some people, they weren't doing what they supposed to do, and we had to let them go. And I'm proud to say now that when you go to school, you got teachers that's standing up, actually teaching what they supposed to know. So you're not going to math class and they're not doing math. Okay? You're not going to English class and they're not learning English. They actually are learning what they're supposed to be learning. So if anything y'all need, like I say, just reach out to me and we can make it happen.
Now, Mr. Butler, now we noticed that one thing about it, about our communication school. You know, a lot of us don't even realize all the equipment that we have up there. We got just as much equipment up there as Channel 8. We got more, just about it better than the equipment they got over at KTSU.
Yes, sir.
So Yates is a communication school, am I right?
Yes, sir. And one of the teachers we had last year, he did such a good job. U of H came in and stole him away from us. They offered him some more money. We couldn't even compete with him. But he's at U of H now because that's how good a job he did. And we went to Austin, and nobody knows this. They only want to put the bad stuff, but we went to Austin and won state in media productions. So yes, we fired a replacement. A father was a pastor at a church down here in Lily Grove. We hired her. First day was last week. She's young, but she knows all her stuff about this. So we lose some people. We hate to lose them, but you know we can't compete with U of H. But we turn around. We try to hire the best qualified, certified people we could find. So if you come see the lady we have on radio, I know if y'all listen to 102, you probably heard Dana Jackson. Dana Jackson teaches at Yates. Most people don't even know. They're like, "You the lady from the radio?" Yes, that's the lady from the radio. She teaches at Yates. So just come see some of the stuff we got. They won't even believe.
Now, Mr. Butler, now, according to what we was doing as far as the communication is concerned, Ms. Margarita got a, yes ma'am, you said, Ms. Margarita.
Do you guys still have that photography program there?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Carrington, who had worked there for forever, 30 years, Mr. Carrington finally retired. He was at the school today, so we hired a new teacher, and she's fully certified, and she starts tomorrow. So, yeah, you know, Mr. Carrington put in his time. He did his 30 years, he retired. We had to lose him, but we had to hire some other teachers for time. But he's still there. He's still working with the new teacher.
Yeah, because PBS did a segment on
Our third ward. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, Mr. Butler, now, when you was talking about some of the academic things that Yates was doing, and this bachelor award thing, how did that thing come about? You know? Yes.
So
could you explain it?
IB, you have regular classes, then you have AP, which is advanced placement. IB is the highest of the high. So at Lamar, that's how Lamar was taking all of our kids. Okay, so they had IB. And people say, "Well, I want my child to be an IB. I want my child to have a streamless or a class that's at the college level." Well, we have IB, and it's the same as it is at Lamar or Chavez or the Heights. It's just a lot of people don't know about it. Okay, so what that is you have these teachers. They go out, they get extra training, and they come in and they get college hours while they at Yates.
Now, it's only 5 schools in the whole city of Houston that qualified to be part of that, and Jack Yates is one of the only 4A schools there, and no 5A schools even made it.
Right.
And the rest of those are 6A schools, and 6A schools is the highest school you can get. Am I right?
They all have over 3,000 kids.
And Yates is a 4A school.
Correct. We have a little over 900. This Saturday we're doing dropout. Our kids that dropped out or stopped going or whatever, we're going back out to walk the neighborhood and get them to come back to school. So our goal is to get back to 1,000 kids this year.
Okay, now can you explain, Mr. Butler, the difference between now what's the 5A school? What attendance do they have to have?
So most of your 4A schools have 1,000 or less. The 5A have 2,000 or less, and then your 6A's are the ones that all have over 2,000.
Okay.
Most of them have over 3,000 students.
So now what we got in the 4A is probably the original black high schools, which is Yates, Wheatley, Booker T, Washington, Cashmere, and Worthing.
Yes.
Those are all 4A schools.
And North Forest.
And North Forest.
But they are 4A with us.
Okay. All right. So I mean, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring in you guys who are the original Jack Yates. People don't even know you guys. They think that Ryan has always been Ryan. They don't know. They think Jack Yates just opened up in 1985. They don't know.
No, they shouldn't think we are because they're getting scholarships from the
Yeah, but
class.
all the rest of the kids that's not getting scholarships, those are the ones I'm saying. Yeah, the ones that getting scholarships, sure, they know because y'all are funding them. But how about the kids that's not getting scholarships?
Well, that's not our fault that they're not telling them anything about it.
Well, then that's part of us trying to bring our history in and stop pointing the fingers about who fault it is and just straighten it up. That's the only thing I'm saying. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
It should have started at home with the parents, but it didn't.
Yeah, oh, no.
So now let's get out of the problem and get into the situation and try to help mend this and try to bring us back together as a group.
We're together, but
Oh, y'all always been together. We just need the rest of the Jack Gates to see you guys, so y'all have set the example for the next generation, which is the 60s and the 70s and the 80s.
and the 59 class too.
And the 59, well, they're part of the fabulous 50s, and that's what I was saying. This is what really messed us up when Mr. Holland and the new school came in. You know, the 58 class was the last class to graduate over there at 2610 Elgin.
And she 59.
Yeah, and the 59 class was the first class to graduate from 3703 Sampson. But you had a new principal, which was Dr. Caldwell,
Yeah.
and people didn't understand that.
No, they didn't.
And a lot of people didn't want to be part of 3703 Sampson because of Dr. Caldwell. I'm not saying everybody.
No, I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm just saying a lot of people was just anger, and a lot of people just like a lot of people that came over to Jack Gates when I came in there in the 60s. Most of those people came from Wheatley. When Dr. Caldwell went over there to open up Jack Gates at 3703 Sampson, this young lady will tell you, a lot of them people didn't even come over there. They stayed over there with Mr. Holland over there at Ryan.
Oh.
And Dr. Caldwell, I'm telling you things that you didn't read in the newspaper.
Oh.
Yes, a lot of them, am I lying or not?
No, I think Robert was the largest class. I think it was 9. And Yates was someone.
Yes, because the 59 class for some of those class kids was still coming from Sunnyside, going out there to the new Jack Gates. Worthing hadn't really got all their things together yet.
No, because they were only went to the 11th grade.
Right. And a lot of kids were still going to Jack Gates from Sunnyside in your class. But in the 60s, it started taping down, and by the time I came out of school in 67, and we was the last school to integrate. Before we was the last one of the segregation.
What?
Yes, ma'am. We played the last Thanksgiving game in 1966. But the last Thanksgiving game that they had, because the following year they integrated, and they told us in 65, with going to Yates, anybody live on one side of Blodgett, going towards the CUNY home, your parents can let you go to Stephen F. Austin. And anybody that was living on the other side of Blodgett, by Wentworth, Blodgett, and Sophomore, McGregor back over there, we could go to San Jacinto High School. But that was an option in 66 and 67, because in 68, they integrated and they started busing. And they started taking teachers out of the black schools and taking them into the white schools and bringing those immaterial, unqualified white teachers over there to Jack Yates. Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody, we got this music major fund. And then nobody over there interested in music as a career, that the music as a day act, like that.
Now, what do you mean music major? Like to major in music?
Yeah. You got
I know students right now that's interested in majoring in music.
But they want to apply for our,
It's part of our agenda today.
that's the people that want the money back.
Right, right, we don't know what's going on. Y'all can't hear stuff, they don't tell y'all what's happening.
You have, when we say, I'm sorry, when we talking about music major, you might be like going to Prairie or TSU to major in music.
yeah.
Right, so there are students at Yates right now who want to major in music. You give me the information, what they need to fill out, and they will fill it out.
How long does it live since, one student major?
I didn't know that you wanted it, because I know students right now that says CMSM Music Lamar that want to fill it out. Trust me now. So this year we have students that want to major in, you have scholarships for kids that major in music. I know one right now, really yesterday right now. He's gonna major in music, but he's planning on going to take a service. I'm trying to use what a president, but he's gonna go to one of them, and he's gonna major in music.
We don't have any that has graduated this past school.
This past school year, I can check and see when I do back to school.
Oh, no, but don't, they're making a difference actually from the people that leave us.
All they have to do is have major in music.
I want that done.
And it has to be
Well,
in
major.
career.
All they want to do is learn how to read.
You never been approached.
Go out and make them some stuff.
I promise you, no sir.
We got this
And they want money back. We sit down quite a bit of money for the scholarship. Students who really want to study music, regardless of where they go. So I did come over and talk to these at the Spence office, and then come over and talk to them.
Okay. All right, yes ma'am.
Please put a levy on there because they actually send the money back because I think.
Man, I have to go back to the school, assistant superintendent there, let me get with, I got the whole list of everything they graduated, and I will find out who is majoring in music, what school they at, and I will give you their names and their information. No one approached me or told me anything about this. If I had known, they definitely would have done it before they graduated.
They talked to Mr. Dooley was the one that was,
Right, he didn't tell me this one. I know Mr. Bill, we working together closely, but he didn't tell me this one.
yeah, well, these are the people that want their money back.
If it's a good time, like you have to make it in.
Yeah, to make it in music so that we can keep their scholarship.
That's the only stipulation that they have to major in music.